Got a quick Steelers news slash update show today. Up to this point, we've probably heard every take on Mike Williams to the Steelers, every reason why it's a good move, every reason why it's a better fit here in Pittsburgh as opposed to New York. Hell, I've probably said every take or have given every reason why Mike Williams to the Steelers was a good move or why it's going to be a better fit here, why it's going to work out here for Mike Williams. But we have yet to hear from Mike Williams himself. Well, yesterday we got the chance, and he responded in a way to what Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show and why Rodgers thought it didn't really work out with the Jets for Mike Williams.
It was cool. Obviously going over there after, ACL, not having OTAs, training camp, all that, to get the chemistry right with Aaron and that. He real detailed, like what he liked. So I feel like me not, being able to go in there and transitioning as quick, probably what went wrong.
Maybe that's why, going back to Rodgers' Green Bay days, remember year in and year out, they'd always be talking about the Packers needing to trade for a big-time receiver, and they would never do it. I wonder if it would have been just too tall of a task for a receiver to come in midseason that didn't already have familiarity with Rodgers to, exceed in that system and with Rodgers without having much time or having much chemistry already in place. Because obviously the Jets and Rodgers traded for Davante Adams, but they have a history together. And in a way, you could listen to what Garrett Wilson's saying, and it kind of goes hand in hand with Mike Williams' comments and also Aaron Rodgers' comments, because even Garrett Wilson, he's a young receiver, came into the league, was a rookie a couple years ago, but he's been with Rodgers for at least more time than Mike Williams, but it's only been 2 years. And you see what he's saying and how he's fitting in with Rodgers in this Jets offense. So now we just hope that it is actually a better fit for Mike Williams here in Pittsburgh, and it's more similar to what he was doing with the Chargers. All signs are pointing to that being the case, but now we got to see it on the field. Now we got a game. Bye week's over. Let's see what Mike Williams does against the Commanders. We'll see how many snaps he gets, but we also got a whole second half of the season, and we'll see how he gets acclimated. That's really all we can do right now. All the takes, all the reaction to the trade, it's about over. I think we've hit our breaking point. Now we got to see him on the field, right? So we will this week, Week 10 against the Commanders. Now, Preston Smith, his little press conference or his little interview with the media was interesting because, I don't know, we weren't really necessarily expecting to get a Preston Smith added to this team over the trade deadline. We did say outside a receiver, maybe a depth edge rusher would be nice, but we weren't linked to Preston Smith. We weren't linked to any specific guys, whereas we talked about Mike Williams going all the way back to the offseason. We talked about Mike Williams just 3-4 weeks ago. And speaking of that, I did see on The Herd today, Jordan Schultz, NFL insider, he was talking about the Mike Williams to Steelers trade and said that the Steelers told him, it was like 3-4 weeks ago, that Mike Williams was one of their main guys they wanted to try to get. So maybe it did really come down to, we thought, outside of Davante Adams and Cooper Kupp, outside of some of those top-end guys, that Mike Williams compared to Darius Slayton, like that next tier, maybe we felt like Mike Williams was that better fit and he was always going to be the guy that we were looking for. We valued him higher than a Jacoby Myers, a Darius Slayton, and Adam Thielen. And again, now it just comes down to, let's see how it plays out. Let's see if the Steelers made the right decision there. But back to Preston Smith. Again, we weren't really expecting him to be a Steeler. I don't think there was hype. There was any connections. So listening to what he had to say was kind of interesting because he said he wasn't surprised at all that the trade happened. And in fact, he requested a trade out of Green Bay just like 2-3 weeks ago. And he's happy that he landed here in Pittsburgh.
I was in a 4-3. We switched to a 4-3 due to the new coordinator. And it was a good system, but things just worked out the way they worked out. Now, I was excited. To be honest, a few weeks ago, I requested a trade. I didn't feel like I was being useful in the system, and it wasn't catering to my play style. And And moving forward, like I wasn't surprised when I got the call. It's like, I got what I asked for, and I'm at a great place with some great teammates. And, I'm excited for the new start, and I'm excited for the rest of this journey for this season.
Not only should it be a better fit for Mike Williams, but obviously, too, with Preston Smith. And it's not like Preston Smith is going to be taking away snaps from Highsmith or TJ Watt. That's going to be status quo. But sometimes you see on some of these good defenses that have a good edge rush trio or a good edge rush quartet, some of those guys can get up to 7-8 sacks if they're put in the right position to rush the passer. Because you saw with the Eagles just a couple years ago, Brandon Graham, he was delegated to being their third guy, still ended up, I think, with 10, 11 sacks in one of those seasons. So maybe the same thing could be said for Preston Smith. I mean, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but if he can get, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5 sacks in the second half of the season, I think this trade would be a huge success. But I think outside of that, I don't got much more to talk about. I mean, we got some injury updates. Zach Frazier said he's going to be good to go this week. Was a full participant in practice yesterday. Justin Fields, he's back, full participant from that hamstring. I mean, I don't think we got to rush him back. He shouldn't even be seeing the field. Let's be honest. Tomlin said something in his press conference that every opposing team here on out needs to be ready for Justin Fields packages. Okay. That's what you want them to think, but if Russell Wilson is playing like this, Justin Fields shouldn't be seeing the field. Anyway, come on. So I guess it's good that he's back fully practicing from this hamstring so Tomlin can trick the opposing teams that Fields is actually going to get a package out there, that he's fully healthy, that he's not going to be the emergency quarterback. But give me a break, man. Give me a break. Fields, he's the backup. He shouldn't be seeing the field on any, given packages or gimmicky stuff. Keep Russ out there. Come on, man. Come on. We got Ben Skoranek, a full participant in practice. I guess he had a shoulder injury. I don't even remember what he was out for. I think we put him on IR. But he might get a chance to get on the field, maybe do some special teams or something. But with this Mike Williams trade, now our receiver room's a little bit more busy. Medikevich is going to be back, full participant in practice on Wednesday. I already mentioned Frazier. Herbig, there's a chance, limited in yesterday's practice. I wouldn't mind waiting another week for Herbig, especially with us trading for Preston Smith. He could get some of those snaps. Cordarrelle Patterson, hopefully we see some of him this week, full participant yesterday as well. Not only should he help in the kick return game, although the kick returns, it's really irrelevant. NFL changed the rule, and I think we have less kick returns than what we did last year anyway with the old rule. But I think Patterson could legit help us in the pass game too, because there was that game or two before he got injured. Not only was he running the ball pretty good, he looked like the best running back on the team in that Colts game, but there was some featuring of Patterson in the passing game, in the air attack, and I was liking what we were doing. Just some swing routes out the backfield. There's ways to utilize him, and obviously Arthur Smith is familiar with Patterson's game and was able to unlock some of his potential at the running back position down in Atlanta. So don't sleep on Cordarrelle, man. We don't have to see anything crazy this week, but I think down the stretch, he's going to be a really, really useful piece in this offense. He was before he got injured, but I still even think there's more that he could do than what was being led on early in the season. And then from a Commander's standpoint, notable names, Marshawn Lattimore, the guy they just traded for, the Pro Bowl dude in the secondary. He was DNP with a hamstring. It's looking like he's not going to play in this game, which is good for the Steelers. Zach Ertz, he just got some rest yesterday, so he'll be playing. Dante Fowler, the Commanders' main edge rusher, limited with a groin injury. Brian Robinson, part of that three-headed monster in the backfield. Hamstring. He was out last week. He was limited in yesterday's practice. And outside of that, not much to note. Their starting kicker, actually, he was DNP with a right hip injury. So they might have to pick up someone off the streets to go up against the Steelers and match up against Boswell. But I think that's it for today's show. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about Mike Williams, Preston Smith. What do you think the potential is? Do you think it really will be a better fit here in Pittsburgh with them? Yeah, maybe give me some stat projections. What do you think Mike Williams' stats will be rest of the way here? What about Preston Smith? And then, yeah, good news on the injury front with the Steelers, for sure. The only guy that looks dicey would probably be Herbig. Frazier's coming back. Patterson's coming back. Medikevich. Edmonds, I forgot to mention this. Edmonds was out with an illness yesterday, DNP. So we'll see on him. But he's our fourth safety at this point. I don't think we're really stressing if he misses some time here, if he misses this week. Because we still got Casey, we got Elliott, and we got Minka. But, again, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.